Ok, qué bueno, qué bueno.
All right, guys, just drop a one in the chat if you could hear me clearly. Amazing, 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 right? So we're gonna get started at 7 on the dot. You know, whoever late will just have to watch the recording, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so just out of curiosity, right? Is the recording going to be sent out? Maybe. So just out of curiosity, if you don't have an idea what a funding challenge is, say you don't have an idea. If you do, you know, don't say anything, right? So if you're new, if you're completely new to getting funded and funding challenges, drop like a 3 in the chat or something, just so I have an idea, you know, who is completely oblivious to getting funded, right? Okay, so I would say, you know, most of us are acquainted with that, right? All right, so, you know, for those of you who don't know, right, simply put, getting funded is you simply go into one of those forex funding firms, right, and proving that you're able to trade in order to manage their funds, right? So I'll just go on the website and quickly just browse through. Which one we have here? Basically, for example, we have the FTMO challenge, right? You pay a fee for a challenge, and then they take you through a verification process where you have to trade a demo account, right? While being observed to hit certain targets without breaking their rules. If you're able to make 10% for the first account, and then you're able to make 5% for the second account, they'll give you a third account. And on that account, you'll be able to access the profits that's actually made, right? The first 2 accounts is just to test your skills, whether or not you can actually make it. And then the third account, they will, you know, actually pay you out, right? So it's simple. It is 3 phases, right? The first phase, they usually give you 30 days. The second phase, 60 days. And the third phase is when you have the live account. That way, you know, there's no deadline to it, right? I'll just go over the rules real quick, but I'm pretty sure most of us are acquainted with this. Some challenges have minimum trading days, right? Minimum trading days simply means that if you pass the challenge on the first day, you have to wait the minimum days in order to move to the next phase, right? So for example, here on FTMO, the minimum days is 10. So if you pass before 10 days, you have to wait 10 days. still, right? The maximum is 30 days. After 30 days, if you're in profit, you'll get a retry. If you're not, they keep your investment to get started, right? Phase 2 is 60 days. Most people fail phase 2, even though it's a lot longer, and we'll go through the reasons why, right? Usually the maximum loss, this is a 10K account as an example, right? The maximum loss is 10%, which is $1,000. So if you lose $1,000, if you lose 10%, you fail and they keep your money. And the profit target is 10%, which is $1,000. If you make 10%, you move to the next phase where you have to make 5% in order to get the live account, right? And once you get the live account, you will get a refund for your fee. But if you manage to violate the rules, break the rules, you're not gonna get a refund, right? So just drop a 1 in the chat if everybody understands what I've explained so far. Okay, good. Now, this live session is simply to be real with everybody and be realistic, right? When it comes to getting funded, right? So, first of all, let's understand the funding challenge, right? Now, with this funding challenge, the goal of taking on a funding challenge is simply to get additional funds to risk for profit, right? Now, instead of depositing $1,000 of your own money and trying to flip that, you could pay for a funding challenge, right? And once you pass, you'll have access to 10 times the amount of money you invested to risk, right? Why is it beneficial? Because it could take you from one level to the next level in a much shorter period of time. The funding challenge simply puts us in an opportunity to make a greater, prosperous living and hit our goals faster, if we're capable of getting funded, right? Now, one thing you need to understand, right? Why I would, endorse getting funded. For one, doing the challenge itself makes you a better trader because it forces you to get rid of those bad trading habits of trying to double an account and risk too much. It simply forces you to be like a hedge fund trader, right? And one thing you have to take into consideration when you're pursuing this challenge is, for one, how could it change your life, right? So, for me, it's like, let's say the average person, the average trader who doesn't have a lot of money to invest manages to get a 100K account, right? Or a 200K account. Now that average trader is gonna go from making 3 or 4 figures a month to making 5, sometimes even 6 figures a month, right? So, that's why a lot of people would head for that goal and would invest in that goal, because at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it, right? Compared to, going to college and going through that 4-year process to make, let's say, 100K a year or 200K a year. Once you acquire the skills to acquire a funded account, manage it, sustain it, you're going to get there, right? And you're going to be able to provide for your family. And at the end of the day, the goal of trading, well, for me, for one, is to have freedom to live the life that you want to live, because I'm pretty sure you're on this earth to live a good life, not too much of a stressful, hardworking life. You want to live an abundant life, and funding opportunities gives you the highest probability, one of the highest probabilities of living that life you want to live, right? And additionally, providing for your family and actually making a difference, right? So just drop a 2 in the chat if you agree with what I'm saying so far, right? Okay, good. So first of all, I want us to go through the statistics of the funding challenge, right? Because most people would think 10% is easy, right? But there's a lot of psychology behind it that makes us fail. So I'll go through the statistics of the challenge. I'll go through the business model and the reality of it. before we get into any strategies, right? Now, you need to understand the statistics. You need to study this because this is like your job. This is like going to college, and if you treat this like a hobby, it's gonna pay you like a hobby, which means it's not gonna pay you at all because most people don't make money from their hobbies, right? So this is the statistics for October for my forex funds. There was 3,544 accounts made. $1 million was paid out. Gold was the most traded pair. The most profitable pair was GBP AUD. The least profitable pair was GBP JPY. Take into consideration the least profitable pair, maybe you might want to stay away from it because most people are feeling, right? Now, 18% of people pass phase one, right? So this 18% is, we don't know how many people took the challenge, but we know that only 18% of people passed, right? For October. Now, phase two, out of that 18% of people that passed, 31% of people passed phase two, right? So this is breaking down the numbers even more, with 31% of that 18% passing, right? And then, 4% actually was able to profit. 4% of the 31% that passed with the 18%, right? So, we could agree that, the fail rate is very, very high, right? Now, at the end of the day, what's worth it is not going to come easy. So you're going to have to be at the top of your game. You're going to have to be consistent and dedicated if you actually want to be a part of this 4%, right? Now, this is this is more than 96% fail rate, right? Because this is 4% of 31 of 18%, right? And that's the math. The pass rate was high that month. Okay, cool, right? Now, some takeaways, 60% of the traders don't use stop loss, so that's why most of them lose. Traders who made it to their fourth pay cycle, their risk management stayed below 3% per day. So maybe that's something you want to take into consideration when you're trading, right? I hope everyone's taking notes. Drop a one in the chat if you're taking notes. Okay, good, right? Profitable traders are trading in the market for less than 4 hours a day, right? Something you want to consider. Most traders don't hold their trades overnight. So I guess there's not a lot of swing traders, right? Certain challenges are not built for swing traders. A trader, when the market is volatile, most traders fail. I've fallen victim to that many times, right? And if the volatility is prolonged, it's just a cycle of trying to regain your losses, right? Drop a 2 in the chat if you've been there. Trying to survive in a volatile market, trying to make back the money you lost quickly. Hopefully you can make it to the next day at break even, right? Let's see. All of them traded conservatively and made it to their payout. None of them were risking more than 2% per day. I usually recommend that out as well, right? There are 5 traders who made it to their 8th payout. Let's see here. Right. There are 5 traders who made it to their 8th payout. Let's see. All traders who received record payouts. All traders who received record payouts lost their account within 3 weeks. So basically, if you had a good run, you get overconfident and then you start risking too much, right? And you lose your account. I've been there. And there are many other facts and whatnot, right? So, this is information you probably want to screenshot. This is information you want to study, and this is information you want to add to your trading plan, right? Now drop a 3 in the chat if this is the first time you're seeing this information. Okay, right? Now, as you can see, the business model around funding challenges, how they make their money is not by, well, Yeah, they make their money when we make profits. They take their 20%, but most of the money is made from failed challenges, right? Most, if not all of the payouts is from failed challenges. In the policy, they say that they don't actually connect you to the market. Most of these funding accounts, you're trading a demo account, but they're gonna pay you out from the other people that failed, right? Because there's thousands and thousands of people that's failing multiple times. They could afford to pay out, those who actually profit, right? But that doesn't matter. As long as we're able to profit, we'll still be able to profit, right? Now, I just want to give everybody a reality check when it comes to these funding challenges, right? And this is something a lot of people don't take into consideration when they trade in a challenge, because it's somewhat, to me, it feels somewhat manipulative and, just giving you the wrong approach to the challenge, right? Now, the reality is when you sign up for a 100K account and you're trading a 100K account, you want to make 10% of a 100K account, right? Now, the reality of the matter is you're not trading a 100K account. You only have 10K to risk. You could only risk 10% of the account, right? If you lose 10%, they take back the account, you can no longer trade the account. So you need to think from the mindset that you're not trading 100K, you're trading 10K if you have a 100K account. Because if you lose 10K, you don't have anything else left to risk, right? So if you approach a professional trader and you tell that trader, hey, I have a live account and I'm risking, what do you recommend to risk, right? If you tell that professional trader you're risking 10% per trade, he will call you crazy. Is there anybody in here who would risk 10% on a single trade? Drop a one if you agree, drop a two if you don't agree. Would you risk 10% on a single trade, right? No, you would not risk 10% on a single trade, right? So take into consideration that if you have a 100K account and you can only use 10K out of that 100K, right? And these funding programs or your mentor, somebody who's guiding you, tells you, risk 1% of your account to pass the challenge. Are you risking 1%? Drop a one in the chat if you believe you're risking 1% when you risk $1,000 on a 100K account. Maybe you're risking 1% on that 100K account, but you're really risking 10% of what you have to use, right? Because if you only have 10K to use and you risk 1%, which is $1,000, you're risking 10% of what you have to use, right? So now they're going to tell you that you need to make 10% profit with only using 10% of the account, which is saying that you need to make 100% profit, right? The funding challenge is basically asking you to make 100% profit, but they're saying it's 10% so that it looks easy. It's 100% profit because you only have 10K to risk. You only have 10K to use, right? And that's the reality of it. If you risk $1,000, you're risking 10% of your account. You lose 9 trades during your term trading the account. You blow the account, right? So I would recommend to break it down and do not risk 1%, which is 10%. So let's just imagine we have a 10K account instead of a 100K account, right? And typically I would risk 0.25% on a live account. If I have a live account, I would risk a quarter. If I have a funded account, I would risk 0.25%, right? On a live account, I would risk not funded, I would risk 2.5% or 5%, right? If you're risking 0.25% on your funded account, you're really just risking 2.5%, half of 5% on the capital you actually have to use, right? So take that into consideration. And you might think, okay, risking 0.25%, which would be $250 on a trade, may not be a lot, but at the end of the day, if you trade conservatively and you don't go into a lot of drawdown, you're gonna get a retry, right? So that's another thing you want to consider. These funding challenges don't need to be rushed because as long as you're in profit, you're gonna get a retry. So it's best to start risking small until you have profit to risk, and then you go ahead and maybe take your bigger trades. And then if you get down to break even, lower your risk. Just stay in profit until the duration of the challenge is up, so that you could actually get a retry. Right? There's no rush. Drop a 1 in the chat if you follow. Drop a 2 in the chat if you understand, what I just explained. And what I just explained is extremely, extremely important when it comes to the perspective of getting funded, right? That's just so you have the right mindset and you don't go and blow your account, right? I'm pretty sure most of the people that we just saw in the statistics was risking 10% on their setups, right? Now, these are the two funding challenges I recommend, right? The quickest is True Forex funds. They pay out in 2 weeks. They have no minimum days. So as soon as you pass, you move to the next phase. If you could pass your challenge in 1 day, the fastest you could get funded is 3 days, right? 1 challenge per day. My Forex funds is a 5-day minimum, I believe. So let's say you pass your challenge. Basically, quickest, right, you could pass is 2 weeks. So you can pass in 2 weeks. If you pass the first phase the first week, you wait the minimum days, you get a second phase the second week, you wait the minimum days, then the payout is 1 month away, right? So the fastest you could get paid with my Forex funds is 6 weeks. The fastest you could get paid with True Forex funds is less than 3, right? But my Forex funds is easier because they give you more to risk. They give you 12% to risk with a smaller target compared to True Forex. They only give you 10%, right? It has its pros and its cons. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're following so far. Okay, amazing, amazing, right? So, let's see here. Here's my advice, right? If you're a beginner and you're taking on a challenge, for the first time, let's say you don't have that personal mentorship, you don't have somebody to guide you, and you feel like you're doing this kind of on your own, just trying to figure it out, just trying to get all the free information you could in order to get funded, right? I would say start small, because there's a 99% chance you're going to fail your first challenge, right? People have to fail, because if you don't fail phase 1, you're going to fail phase 2. If you don't fail phase 2, you're going to lose your live account, because you need to have that experience in order to come back from it, right? You need to have that experience in order to learn from it. You need to have that trauma in order to be consistent in making the right decisions, right? So, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have gotten funded, has gotten your live account, and then, you blew it. You probably had some profit, and then you wasn't able to get a payout, and that was a traumatic experience, right? And, I'm pretty sure maybe you fail a couple of times, you finally get live, and then you fail live, right? And that's fine. If you're doing it on your own, these are things you have to go through, because you're learning from your own experiences, right? You're not learning from somebody else's experiences. If you're learning from somebody else's experience, they could probably guide you in the right manner and tell you what to expect. And if you don't follow their instructions, then that's on you to learn from that, right? So knowing that, there's a good chance you're going to fail the first time, you should start small, because at the end of the day, these challenges are about percentage gains. So it doesn't matter the size of the challenge. If you can pass 10K, you can pass 200K. You just follow the same rules, right? But with 10K, your initial investment is going to be less, so it's not going to hurt as much. And at the end of the day, these are challenges you have to keep at, and you can't give up, because the reward is the risk might be big, but the reward is bigger. So even though you might lose 10K trying to get funded, eventually when you do get funded, one payout is going to pay for all the time and money you lost trying to get funded, right? So drop a 2 in the chat if you're following so far and you understand, everything I've explained. Okay, good, good. So like I said before, survival comes first. The reason why survival comes first is because one, you want to gain the experience of trading, right? You want to gain the experience of, being in the market daily, trying to profit. And at the end of the day, if you survive, you're going to get a retry, right? And this retry is going to come with experience. So you're going to learn from your mistakes and you're going to come back with experience, right? So survival comes first. And these are just some risk management tips that I use, right? You have to set small goals. 1% is good. You make 1% for the day, pat yourself on the back. Congratulations, right? But don't make 1% risking 1%, right? Risk 0.25%, a quarter of 1%, whatever the size of your challenges. Sometimes I even risk 0.1%, right? So if you're on a 100K account, $250 risk per trade is fair, right? If you can use that 0.25% and you made 1% for today, you did exceptionally well, right? You're part of the 1% because I'm pretty sure 99% of people was not profitable for the day, right? Now, like we saw in the statistics, the people who come out on top, they typically risk 2% per day. So if you lose 2% for the day, just stop, come back tomorrow, right? A lot of the times, people believe that you need to trade every day, which you don't, because the market have certain conditions, right? And if the market conditions is not right, you're not going to be prosperous that day, right? Think about it as you're an athlete, right? Because this feels like sports. Are you gonna go on the track and run when it's rainy? Are you gonna go on the track and run when there's a hurricane? You're probably not gonna perform. You're probably gonna slip and fall. No, that's the same thing with trading. A lot of the times the market conditions is not tradable, but you feel like you need to trade every day, so you force the market, and your stop loss gets hit, and it hurts, right? Drop a 3 in the chat. If you guys are familiar, with that, right? Okay, good. So one thing you need to consider is, in order to get to the goal, right? Let's say the goal is 10K a month. You're not going to get to 10K a month being the person you are now, right? You have to see yourself, see your future self, and your future self is making 10K a month. Who's that person, right? Because the person you are right now maybe don't deserve 10K a month, but you have to become the type of person that deserves 10K a month, right? And that simply means becoming a more efficient person, right? And when it comes to trading, you really need to become that efficient person in all aspects of life, right? Trust me. I thought I could be a great trader and be a regular guy in the streets, and it is not going to work out, right? Because for some reason, trading feels, I don't know, sometimes it feels spiritual. So if you're not in a good mood, if you have bad eating habits, if you're going through a lot, the market is not going to produce for you for some reason, right? But if you're at a high vibrational level, I feel like the right opportunities is going to be attracted to you, right? So, one thing you want to consider is, besides the trading habits, the daily habits, do the small things, have a calm mind, a calm personality, be a solution-based person, build the right habits, eat healthy, be energetic, work out, and do the hard things, right? Become a better person in order to actually, see success in the market, right? And even with personal habits, there's trading habits. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you guys have fallen victim to these habits, as have I, but these are just habits that we need to overcome, right? Because the market is very psychological. Now, you cut out your bad trading habits, which would be over trading, placing too much trades for the day, greed, trying to make too much, forcing the markets. You had a good day, you still want to go back in, right? Over leveraging simply means taking on too much risk, rushing, right? Rush. If you rush this, it's not going to work. Trust me, it's not going to work, right? I'm pretty sure you have experience. It's not going to work if you're rushing. I didn't, this is just, I'm pretty sure, a lot of you guys already experienced these things, but it's good to hear it again, right? And maybe a couple more times, right? And if you're under pressure, if you're under any pressure to make money fast, it's not going to work as well. You need to be in a calm state of mind and know that you're doing this for the long term, right? You need to set long-term goals when it comes to trading. And how you get to those long-term goals is simply by following your habits daily, your trading habits daily. As long as you could follow your trading habits and your trading routine, you're gonna have progress to get to your goal, right? And you add pressure to that, it's not gonna work. So you need to, even if you're under pressure, fight through it and not become a victim to pressure, right? And one thing that's gonna help is everyone trades better when they're being watched because they could be held accountable for falling into these bad habits, right? So one thing I would recommend is having a trading buddy, a mentor who could hold you accountable, right? Somebody who could view your trading account so that when you make, when these habits kick in, they could be like, yo, you need to chill, you kind of overdoing it right now. So it's good to have an accountability partner, which is very, very important, right? It's going to keep you on the right path, right? So drop a one in the chat if you follow it. Okay, great, right? I'll be taking screenshot, I'll be taking notes. One thing you wanna consider too is trade from a series of trade perspective, not a trade by trade basis. Don't look for the next trade to get you over the hump you need to go. Don't look for the next 2 trades to get you over the hump you need to go, right? You have to break up your trading into a series of trades. So for example, we have 10% to risk, right? Which is, 100%. If you're risking 1% per trade, you have 10 trades until your account is blown, right? If you're risking 0.5% per trade, you have 20 trades to lose before your account is blown. If you're risking 0.25%, you have 40 trades until your account is blown, right? Now, spreading it out is going to give you a better chance of making it, right? Because if you're trading from a series of trade perspective, then the only how you're not going to make it is if you don't have a profitable strategy. Because a profitable strategy is a strategy with an edge. And we know that over time, the edge plays out, right? So yeah, you could lose 5 trades in a row, but when you get those few winners, it's going to make up for it. However, if you're risking from a trade by trade basis, which means you're risking too much, is by the time your edge kicks in, let's say the market wasn't performing properly today, by the time your edge kicks in, it's already too late. And if you're in drawdown, you've already gotten emotional, you've already started panicking, and you're not going to see the market clearly, right? And sometimes you just have to follow the strategy. And even if you're on the edge, you follow the strategy. And if you don't make it, then you try again, right? Do not get attached to the funding challenge too much, right? You have to be okay with failing. You have to be okay with trying again, right? Because you're trying again from experience, and sometimes the lesson is more valuable. What you might learn from failing today could save you tens of thousands of dollars later if you're willing to learn from your mistakes, right? Risk to reward matters, right? A lot of traders, they don't trade with proper risk to reward because risk to reward is a part of your edge, right? Your edge is your win rate or your risk to reward. Now, your risk to reward looks like this, right? Basically, the red area is what you risk, the green area is your reward. Your reward needs to be bigger than your risk unless you have a very successful strategy, right? Because the only way you'll survive with a poor risk to reward is if you have an amazing win rate, right? So this risk to reward is, let's see here. This risk to reward right here is 1-to-1, right? If you only win, if you keep pulling, let's say your TP is 1-to-1. If you keep closing your TP at 1-to-1, you're gonna need to win 60% of your trades minimum to make some profit, right? You're gonna have to make 80% of your trades in order to be really profitable. But if you have a strategy and the win rate is 1-to-3 or above, then that puts you in a better probability of being successful at trading, right? So you want to be the type of person that closes your trade at 2 or 3 times your risk, right? That way you could lose more trades, because really and truly, we don't know which trade you're gonna win. You don't know which trade you're gonna lose, right? You don't know which one. No matter how good the market looks, you don't know, you don't control the market, right? We're going based off of probability. So we don't know which one is gonna win. We don't know which one's gonna lose, but we know at the end of the day, as long as our winners are bigger than our losers, even if we lose more, it's going to compensate in order to make us profitable, right? So drop a 2 in the chat if you're following. Unless there's circumstances where you have a high win rate, you're able to win most of your trades, then you could have a smaller risk to reward. I've used strategies with smaller risk to rewards, but the win rate is very high, so that it is profitable, right? Now, you need a trading plan, you need a routine, you need one system that you could follow, and you need to focus, right? A trading plan simply states what is your daily method of operation when it comes to trading, right? What pairs are you trading? What time are you trading? What is your risk for the day, right? Maybe what is your target? What you're willing to lose for the day? I just said that. And the strategy, you follow, the specific setup you follow, right? Your routine is obviously the time, right? How many times a day you trade. And in this trading plan, in this routine, it has to involve studying as well, back testing. You have to review your trades. At the end of the day, review your trades, look back at your trades, see what you performed well in, what you didn't perform well in, and make a mental observation and a mental note, so that next time around you're trading from a place of experience, right? When I say one system, I mean you don't want to trade multiple strategies, because multiple strategies messes up your edge, right? Because one trader could send a 1-to-3, right? And you're in profit. And then the next trader, maybe his risk is like this, right? He has a bigger risk than reward. Maybe his strategy is a smaller win rate. That's if you're following somebody, right? Or if you're trading on your own, it's best to have one strategy that you follow so that the edge can play out, right? The edge is how profitable you are after a series of trades, right? And like I said, focus. Now, focus is simply trading one account, right? Unless you're already competent in trading and you could maneuver very well. But focus is trading one account, right? Focus is just being focused in your trading and being disciplined. Focus is not overwhelming yourself with multiple multiple things, as in multiple other businesses, multiple just other things that you might be doing, right? Because I know like some people might be focusing on, let's say you're focusing on forex, and then you're focusing on binary, which is another trading, another style of trading, right? Or you're focusing on some other business is gonna take away from your end goal when it comes to what you want to achieve and getting funded, right? So focus is going to help. And I'm talking from a place of experience, right? So just drop a one in the chat if you're following so far. Drop a one in the chat if you're focused on this session right now. Okay, great, right? And let's see what I have here. Thirdly, I have trade assist, right? Get trade assist. Now, most of you don't know what trade assist is. I'm going to show you what trade assist is, and I'm going to give you access to it, right? Just for the people who's on this session right now. Trade assist is simply, if you want to, also, if you want to, become a competent trader, you need to start trading from your laptop, right? Because you're at a disadvantage when trading on your phone, right? Now, I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to Trade Assist. However, I do have the video on my YouTube showing you how to download it, right? Trade Assist is simply a tool that calculates your risk for you so that you don't have to, right? Let's look at a pair here, for example. Your USD, right? Okay, so this is Trade Assist. You input the risk you're risking, right? So I put 0.25%. The market will always risk 0.25% of my balance, no matter where I put my stop loss, right? You click lot size calculates to turn it on. You click the lines, right? And now you simply, you see how much money is risking? $500. This is a 200K account in profit, right? No matter where I put the stop loss, it's always going to risk $518, right? That way, my risk management is always on point. I'm not going to risk more than 0.25%, right? So if I had to enter a trade, I would just turn on the lines, put my stop loss where it needs to go, put my take profit where it needs to go, right? And I will click buy. And then the market is going to input the correct lot size, right? If it hits the stop loss, it's going to lose what I said it's going to lose, right? Simultaneously, you could also switch it to sells, right? You could also put the buy limits. All you need to do is place the stop loss, place the TP. No calculating the drama, right? Because I don't like to be calculating my risk and my stop loss too much. A lot of the times I see a trade, right? And I just want to get into it, and it's just one button. You could, let's say I put it at 0.01, right? Or even 0.1, right? This is 0.1%. And it's going to just enter the trades. I can click it as many times as I want. It's going to enter the trades, right? If I want to close the trade, I can click close all, close those in profit, close those in loss, right? I could click move all my stops to break even. It's going to move all the stops to break even, right? I could trail a stop loss and, all that good stuff. Basically you could do a lot. So, I feel like this is an important tool that is going to simplify your trading for you, right? It costs $100, but I do have access to it so that, I could just give you guys some logins so that you're able to download it on your computer, right? Drop a 2 in the chat if you would consider using the tool. All you need to do is just go on my YouTube and I explain how to use it, right? I'm pretty sure you don't see a lot of people using it, but it's a game changer, right? I've made sure that everyone in my mentorship uses it, or at least I've introduced it to them, and it's up to them whether or not they want to use it, right? What is my risk to reward? If you scroll through my Telegram, you would see, right? A lot of the trades is phenomenal risk to reward. Usually I aim for minimum 1 to 3, but I know how to take what the market is giving me. As well, I minimize my risk, meaning that I would move my stocks to break even. I would take partials, a lot of advanced risk management or just risk management to really help, right? So let's see, for example, this is one of the last trades that I sent out. Let's see, this one, for example. This trade that I sent out on the last live session, as you can see, usually I don't set a TP, but this was 1-to-1, right? But I understand with the higher time frame bias, the market could really go far, right? So even though you might see this trend starting off right here, and it doesn't look like great risk to reward, at the end of the day, where is it? I think it really, where's US 13? I probably didn't post a screenshot, but that one ran crazy risk to reward, at least 1-to-7 or something like that, right? But yeah, so, any questions before I go on to the next piece of information? I'll give you guys like 2 minutes to ask if you have any questions real quick. Why is your phone a disadvantage? Because you can't use trade assist. You have to manually calculate your risk. You have to manually put your stop loss, right? Am I currently accepting mentorship? I'm considering it, right? I'm also considering to do some live sessions for everyone for like 2 weeks or a month, but the goal for those sessions is just to trade your funded accounts. Everyone trades their funded accounts and follows the risk management plan and follows the trading plan, right? I only trade twice a day at 11 to 12 and 2 to 3, right? And during those sessions, I would find an abundance of opportunities because I'm traded on the 1-minute chart, right? I'm traded on the seconds chart. So I only need to trade for those hours to catch phenomenal risk to reward, right? So I'm really considering to do some sessions if enough people are ready for it, right? But it's just consideration for now. Explain my trading plan. My trading plan is pretty simple. Trade twice a day during my specific trading times, right? During my specific trading times, trade my specific pair that you see me sending signals for. And mind you, I could trade a lot of different methods, right? But obviously I focus on what works the best. And to me, when I've analyzed my trading performance and my trading results, I had a look and I saw that my best trades came at 2 and 3 because at 11 and 2 because the market tends to start to trend and it tends to remove highs at that time. So this is 11 o'clock and this is 2 o'clock. As you can see, 11 o'clock, we had a trend up, 2 o'clock, we had a trend up, right? And when I've back tested these times, at those specific times of day, we always have a big move or the trend begins. So I only focus on those times and I only focus on catching the move for those specific times. That's why a lot of the times you'll see me say in the chat, look out for a signal at 2 o'clock or look out for a signal at 11 if I choose to send it, right? This website, this is TradingView. You could use Trade Assist on MetaTrader 4 only. What platform you prefer? I prefer True Forex Funds and My Forex Funds, right? I know that My Forex Funds there's no problems with payouts as long as you don't violate their rules. The funding challenge allows you to retry if you're in profit at the end of the 30 days. Am I coming back to live calls? I don't know as yet. Is it better than 9 a.m.? It is 10 times better than 9 a.m. At between 9 and 10, the market doesn't trend. It creates small moves and takes your stop loss, right? At 9:30, there's the stock exchange open, a very volatile time. And yes, you might gamble and catch a nice move, or maybe you will catch a nice move, right? But the trading conditions during those times are not good times compared to if you trade at 11 or you trade at 2, the market is gonna flow much more nicely, right? Because it's already done the damage of removing the impatient traders between 9:30 and 10, right? And then the actual move of the day usually begins, right? I'm in profit, 20K, 100K account. I can lose 6,500 in a day, which is about 5%. I do lose the account, or is the loss calculated from only the 100K, not the profit? Well, if the risk is 5% in a day, just stick to 5% of 100K, which is $5,000. And you shouldn't even consider losing $5,000 for the day. You should only consider losing 2, right? What should you document for your trade? Just take a screenshot of your trade. Trade in general helps. Can you explain your strategy for 1 minute? Is that the most pairs you trade? I mean, I trade many pairs if I'm sending signals, but when I'm personally trading, it's mostly just US30 and Euro USD, right? How do you get trade assists? I'll just stay tuned in the Telegram chat, right? As long as you're paying attention in the Telegram chat, you're gonna get the information, right? You're gonna get the information for whatever I'm up to, and you're gonna get the information for the trade assists, right? And there's also, someone just dropped a YouTube video. I'm pretty sure it's the trade assist video. Let's see. Okay, yeah.
This is a tool that's really gonna change.
Yeah, so this is me explaining, what is trade assist, right? Any other questions? Okay, so drop a 1 in the chat if this was very informational to you. If you appreciated the information, if you learned something new, right? What do you use to trade on your laptop? MetaTrader 4. What's the name of your YouTube channel? Mastermind Capital. You're awesome. Appreciate you, Big John. Boss, appreciate you. I'm at work at 6 a.m. sometimes 4. To trade 4 p.m. is difficult for me to join. 6 a.m. to 4, then that's gonna be tough. Someone said they at work 6 a.m. to 4, so they can't join live sessions. So, you're gonna have to, Asian session is also good, right? You have to adapt to your lifestyle. Asian session is also good for USD JPY, right? So sometimes I would trade USD JPY during the Asian session because we're gonna find trends. So if you can't trade during the day, you trade USD JPY during the Asian session, or you need to get up early to trade London, right? Would you accept virtual mentorship? Currently, I'm not doing any mentorship at the moment, but just stay tuned. And whenever I decide to do a mentorship, you'll know. Usually is very selective because, you know, most people, their personality is not going to be fit for, you know, trading. You know what I'm saying? Because many times I've helped persons get funded 4 and 5 times, and all they did was just go ahead and blow the accounts because they was not disciplined, right? So when it comes to mentorship and all of that, it's very I have to qualify, you know, individuals and all of that, right? So currently I don't have any paid services currently, right? But you know, stay tuned. I'm considering some stuff, right? I'm considering some things, and I'm considering to put some plans together. But everyone who's been a part of my mentorship from months ago, they get access to my live sessions every day and my private signals every day, right? But you know, if that's enough, I'll see you guys in the Telegram chat. I hope you enjoyed the session, right? Just stay tuned. I'll probably be sending out some value this week, and I wish you all the best of luck when it comes to getting funded, right? All right, guys. So have a good night and have a safe trading.